In the vast expanse of the galaxy, countless species waged wars for dominance, resources, and survival. The Galactic Council, a governing body formed to maintain a semblance of peace, had strict rules about warfare. However, one rule stood out among the rest. Humans were banned from participating in any galactic wars. Captain Thuller of the Krinxian fleet looked over the data on his holoscreen, his scales shimmering under the artificial light. The humans' ban was a topic of great debate and speculation. Some believed it was due to their unpredictable nature, while others thought it was a political move to keep the balance of power. But Thaler had a hunch there was something more. His curiosity led him to a secluded archive on the Council's homeworld, where ancient records were kept. After navigating through layers of security, he found what he was looking for. A classified document titled "The Real Reason Humans Are Banned from Galactic War." As Thaler read through the document, his eyes widened with each passing word. The report detailed a conflict known as the Viridian War, fought over 2 centuries ago. The humans, a relatively new species to the galactic community at the time, had been drawn into the conflict by an alliance with the Dracarians. The Dracarians, a warrior race known for their brute strength, were losing ground to the technologically superior Illyrians. Desperate, they sought the help of the humans, hoping for fresh tactics and manpower. What they got was beyond their wildest expectations. Humans, with their unparalleled adaptability and tenacity, brought a new dimension to the war. They used guerrilla tactics, psychological warfare, and strategies that the Illyrians had never encountered. Entire battalions of Illyrian soldiers disappeared overnight, their camps found abandoned with cryptic messages left behind. One such message, recorded in the document, sent chills down Thaler's spine. "The night is dark and full of terrors. We are the terrors." As the war dragged on, the humans unveiled their most fearsome trait, their resilience. Injured soldiers who should have been incapacitated continued to fight, driven by a willpower that seemed almost supernatural. Stories of human soldiers fighting with grievous wounds, refusing to fall until their mission was complete, spread like wildfire. One account told of Lieutenant Sarah Connors, who, after losing an arm in battle, used her remaining hand to pilot a damaged starfighter into the heart of an Illyrian dreadnought, turning the tide of that crucial engagement. Her actions became legendary, but they also sowed fear among the Illyrians. The final straw came during the Siege of Terex Prime. Outnumbered and outgunned, the humans and Dracarians were on the brink of defeat. In a last-ditch effort, human engineers rigged the planet's core to detonate, threatening to take both their enemies and themselves down in a blaze of glory. The Illyrians, not willing to risk such a cataclysmic event, retreated. The document concluded with a chilling statement. Humans possess an indomitable spirit that defies logic and reason. Their presence on the battlefield destabilizes conventional warfare and introduces an element of chaos that cannot be controlled. For the stability of the galaxy, humans must be banned from participating in any future conflicts. Thaler leaned back, the gravity of what he had read sinking in. The humans' ban was not out of fear of their unpredictability or politics, but because of their sheer will to win at any cost. Their determination and resilience were unparalleled, making them both the greatest asset and the most dangerous adversary in war. As he left the archive, Thaler couldn't help but feel a sense of admiration mixed with apprehension. The galaxy was indeed safer with humans off the battlefield, but he wondered how long such a ban would last. The universe was ever-changing, and with the constant rise of new threats, he speculated if there might come a time when the galaxy would once again call upon humanity's indomitable spirit. The news of Feller's discovery spread quickly among the Kringshian fleet. While many were relieved to know the true reason behind the ban, others were left pondering the implications. In the mess halls and quarters, whispers of the humans' legendary resilience sparked both respect and unease. Back on Earth, the humans remained largely unaware of the full extent of their reputation. They continued to advance their technology, explore new frontiers, and build alliances. They were a species ever evolving, always preparing for the next challenge, whatever it may be. And somewhere, in the quiet corners of the galaxy, those who knew the truth kept a watchful eye on humanity, ever mindful of the force that lay dormant, waiting for the moment it would be needed once more. Years had passed since Captain Thaller's discovery, and the galaxy had settled into a precarious peace. The ban on humans participating in galactic warfare remained firmly in place, but rumors persisted that the Council was reconsidering the ban, especially as new threats loomed on the horizon. The Zarnak Collective, a hive mind species with a thirst for conquest, had begun expanding aggressively, assimilating entire systems and enslaving their populations. The Collective's advance was relentless, and their ability to adapt to and counter conventional tactics made them a formidable foe. The Galactic Council convened an emergency session to address the crisis. Representatives from various species gathered in the Grand Chamber, their holographic images flickering as they debated possible strategies. Among them was Ambassador Liara from Earth, who had been pushing for greater inclusion of humans in galactic affairs. Her arguments had often fallen on deaf ears, but the threat posed by the Zarnak Collective had shifted the balance. Honorable members of the Council, Lyra began, her voice steady and resolute. The Zarnak Collective poses an unprecedented threat to our galaxy. We need every resource, every ally, and every strategy at our disposal. It's time to lift the ban on human participation in galactic warfare. A murmur spread through the chamber, some representatives nodding in agreement, while others looked skeptical. Councillor Varric of the Illyrians, who had always been wary of humans, spoke up. Ambassador Liara, we have not forgotten the Viridian War. Humans are unpredictable and dangerous on the battlefield. Their presence could destabilize our efforts rather than aid them. Lyra met his gaze, unwavering. Councillor Varric, I understand your concerns, but we are facing an enemy that adapts to our every move. Humanity's unique traits, our adaptability, resilience, and unconventional thinking, are exactly what we need to counter the Zarnak Collective. We are not the same as we were during the Viridian War. We have grown, learned, and are ready to stand alongside our allies. The debate raged on, but ultimately, the Council voted to lift the ban on humans, recognizing the necessity of their involvement. The decision was met with both relief and trepidation. The galaxy was about to see what humanity could bring to the battlefield once again. As the news spread, Earth mobilized its forces. Soldiers, engineers, and strategists prepared for deployment, their training rigorous and their resolve unshakable. Among them was Captain Daniel Duke Carter, a seasoned officer with a reputation for his innovative tactics and unyielding determination. Captain Carter's unit, known as the Ghost Wolves, was among the first to be deployed. Their mission, to infiltrate a Zarnak-occupied world and disrupt their supply lines, buying time for the Galactic fleet to mount a larger offensive. The Ghost Wolves were a mix of veterans and fresh recruits, all united by a common purpose. The drop onto the planet's surface was swift and silent, their cloaked ships evading detection. As they navigated the dense jungles, the Ghost Wolves encountered remnants of the local population, enslaved and forced to work for the Collective. Carter's heart hardened at the sight of the suffering, fueling his resolve. "All right, wolves," Carter said, his voice a low whisper over the comms. "We have our objectives. Take out their supply depots and free as many captives as we can. Remember, we are not just soldiers. We are liberators." The mission was executed with precision. The ghost wolves moved like shadows, striking swiftly and vanishing before the Zarnak forces could mount a response. Explosions lit up the night as supply depots went up in flames, and liberated captives cheered their human saviors. One of the liberated captives, a Krinkshan named Valra, looked at Carter with a mix of awe and gratitude. "You humans, you fight with such ferocity and compassion. Why were you ever banned from war?" Carter gave a wry smile. "Sometimes our greatest strengths can also be our greatest weaknesses. But right now, we're here to help." As the Galactic fleet arrived, bolstered by the Ghost Wolves' efforts, a fierce battle ensued. The combined forces of the galaxy clashed with the Zarnak Collective in a cataclysmic showdown. The humans, with their unpredictable tactics and unyielding spirit, played a crucial role in turning the tide. In the aftermath of the battle, the Zarnak Collective's advance was halted, and a tenuous peace began to take hold. The galaxy had witnessed the full might of humanity once more, and the lessons of the past were tempered with the hope of the future. Back on Earth, as the soldiers returned home, Captain Carter stood before a memorial dedicated to those who had fallen. He knew the price of war, but he also knew the value of fighting for what was right. In the grand halls of the Galactic Council, the ban on humans was lifted permanently, recognizing that their presence brought not just chaos, but also an indomitable spirit that was crucial in the fight for peace and justice. And thus, humanity's legacy in the galaxy was rewritten, not as a force to be feared, but as a beacon of hope and resilience in the face of darkness. Years after the victory against the Zarnak Collective, the galaxy had entered a new era of cooperation and unity. The Galactic Council had become a symbol of hope, and humans were now seen as vital allies rather than unpredictable threats. Yet the peace was fragile, and new challenges always lurked in the shadows. Captain Daniel Duke Carter, now a decorated hero, had been promoted to Admiral. He led the newly formed Allied Defense Force, ADF, a coalition of species dedicated to preserving peace and security across the galaxy. His leadership and humanity's contributions had solidified their place among the galaxy's protectors. Admiral Carter stood on the bridge of the flagship Unity, gazing out at the stars. The ADF fleet was on high alert, responding to a distress signal from the Outer Rim. A mining colony on the planet Thalon 5 had gone silent, and initial reports suggested a new, unknown threat. "Commander Vega, any updates from the reconnaissance team?" Carter asked, turning to his second-in-command, an Illyrian with a sharp mind and a fierce loyalty. "Admiral, the team reports signs of advanced weaponry and energy readings we've never encountered before. The colony's defensive systems were overwhelmed in minutes," Vega replied, her blue eyes reflecting concern. Carter nodded, his mind racing. "Prepare the fleet for immediate deployment. We need to secure the area and protect any survivors. And notify the Council. This could be the start of something much bigger." The ADF fleet arrived at Thalon 5 to find the colony in ruins. The air was thick with smoke, and the ground was littered with debris. Carter led a team to the surface, his heart heavy as he saw the devastation firsthand. Survivors were few, but their accounts painted a grim picture. "They came out of nowhere," a wounded miner said, his voice trembling. "They weren't like any species we've seen before. They moved like shadows, and their weapons. They cut through our defenses like they were nothing." As Carter and his team pieced together the attack, a pattern began to emerge. The unknown attackers were methodical and ruthless, leaving no witnesses and erasing all traces of their origin. The technology they used was far beyond anything the galaxy had encountered, hinting at a civilization that had remained hidden until now. Back on the Unity, Carter convened a meeting with the Council via holographic link. Representatives from across the galaxy appeared, their faces etched with worry. "Admiral Carter, what have you discovered?" Councillor Varric asked, his tone urgent. Carter took a deep breath. "The attackers are unlike any we've faced before. Their technology is highly advanced, and they seem to have a clear objective: eliminate all resistance and leave no trace. We need to mobilize all our resources to find out who they are and what they want." The Council agreed, and the ADF began a galaxy-wide search for clues. Teams of scientists, engineers, and soldiers worked together, shaping information and resources. It was a testament to how far the galaxy had come, united by a common goal. Months passed with little progress, but then a breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Valra, the Krinksian liberated by Carter during the Zarnak conflict, had become a leading scientist. She discovered an ancient star map in a forgotten archive that matched the energy readings from the attack on Thelon 5. "Admiral Carter, this star map points to a region of space that has been uncharted for millennia," Valra explained via a secure channel. "It could be the origin of our attackers." Carter immediately ordered the fleet to set course for the coordinates. The journey took them to the edge of known space, to a cluster of stars surrounded by a dense nebula that had hidden its secrets for eons. As the fleet navigated through the nebula, they encountered massive structures, ancient space stations and shipyards, still operational and teeming with activity. The attackers were revealed to be the Seraphim, a race of hyper-intelligent and technologically superior beings who had remained in isolation, watching the galaxy from afar. The Seraphim's leader, Archon Seraphiel, appeared on the Unity's main screen. Tall and ethereal, with eyes that seemed to pierce through the soul, Seraphiel spoke with a voice that resonated deeply. "Admiral Carter, we are the Seraphim. We have observed your galaxy and determined that your civilizations are a threat to the cosmic balance. Our intervention is necessary to prevent chaos." Carter stood tall, meeting Seraphiel's gaze. "We seek peace and unity, not chaos. Your attack on Thelon 5 was unprovoked and unjust. We are willing to engage in dialogue, but we will defend ourselves if necessary." A tense silence followed before Seraphiel responded. "Very well, Admiral. Let us see if your actions match your words. We will cease our attacks for now. Meet us at the Council's homeworld for negotiations. But know this, we will not tolerate disorder." The communication ended, and the fleet breathed a collective sigh of relief. The galaxy had averted immediate disaster, but the true test was yet to come. The negotiations with the Seraphim would determine the future of the galaxy. As the fleet set course for the Council's homeworld, Carter reflected on the journey ahead. Humanity had once been banned from war due to their unpredictability and resilience. Now, those very traits might be the key to forging a lasting peace with a new, enigmatic adversary. The story of humanity in the galaxy was far from over. With each challenge, they had proven their worth, not just as warriors, but as diplomats and leaders. And as long as they continued to fight for what was right, there was hope for a brighter future for all. The Unity arrived at the Galactic Council's homeworld, where preparations for the historic negotiations with the Seraphim were in full swing. The council chamber, normally filled with tension and debate, now hummed with a mixture of hope and apprehension. Representatives from all member species were present, each bringing their own perspective and concerns to the table. Admiral Carter, alongside Ambassador Lara, stood at the forefront of the human delegation. They were joined by Valra, whose knowledge of the Seraphim's technology and history had proven invaluable. The stakes were higher than ever, and the outcome of these talks would shape the future of the galaxy. Archon Seraphiel and a delegation of Seraphim arrived with an aura of calm authority. Their presence commanded respect, and their advanced technology was evident in their seamless holographic projections and elegant attire. The tension in the room was palpable as Seraphiel began to speak. "Members of the Galactic Council," Seraphiel's voice echoed through the chamber, "we have come to understand your intentions and the resilience of your species. We acknowledge your desire for peace, but we must also address the potential for chaos that unchecked growth and conflict can bring." Councillor Varric, who had been skeptical of the humans in the past, now found himself allied with them in facing this new threat. "Archon Seraphiel, we recognize the need for balance, but your methods of intervention have caused suffering and destruction. We propose a different approach, one of cooperation and mutual understanding." Admiral Carter stepped forward. "The galaxy is vast and diverse. Each species brings unique strengths and perspectives. Instead of imposing control through fear, we can achieve stability through collaboration. Let us work together to find solutions that respect the autonomy of all civilizations while maintaining peace." Seraphiel regarded Carter with an inscrutable expression. "Your words carry weight, Admiral, but words alone will not suffice. We need assurances that your actions will align with your intentions." Valra took a deep breath and spoke up. "Archon Seraphiel, the Seraphim have observed the galaxy from afar, but you have not experienced the strength of our unity. We propose a joint venture, an initiative where Seraphim and members of the Galactic Council work side by side to address the root causes of conflict and instability. Through shared knowledge and cooperation, we can create a lasting peace." The room buzzed with whispers and murmurs as the council members considered Valra's proposal. It was a bold move, one that required trust and a willingness to embrace the unknown. Seraphiel's gaze swept across the room before settling on Valra. "Your proposal is intriguing. It aligns with our goal of maintaining cosmic balance. However, there must be accountability and measurable progress. We will agree to this venture under the condition that regular assessments are conducted and adjustments are made as needed." Councillor Varric nodded. "Agreed. Transparency and accountability are essential. We must be prepared to adapt and learn from each other." With the terms set, the council members cast their votes. The decision was unanimous. The joint venture, known as the Galactic Harmony Initiative, GHI, was approved. It marked the beginning of an unprecedented era of collaboration between the Seraphim and the rest of the galaxy. Over the following months, teams composed of Seraphim and members of various species worked together on projects aimed at promoting peace and stability. They tackled issues such as resource distribution, technological advancement, and conflict resolution. The initiative faced challenges and setbacks, but it also saw remarkable successes. Admiral Carter found himself traveling to different worlds, overseeing missions and mediating disputes. He witnessed firsthand the power of unity and the impact of shared purpose. The Seraphim, once seen as a distant and enigmatic threat, became valued partners in the quest for a harmonious galaxy. One of the most significant breakthroughs came when a joint research team, led by Valra and a Seraphim scientist named Lara, developed a new energy source that could be harnessed safely and efficiently. This discovery had the potential to revolutionize industries and reduce the competition for scarce resources, addressing one of the root causes of conflict. In a ceremony held on the Council's homeworld, representatives from across the galaxy gathered to celebrate the milestone. Admiral Carter, Valra, and Ilora stood together, symbols of what could be achieved through cooperation. As the ceremony concluded, Archon Seraphiel approached Carter. "Admiral, you and your people have proven that even the most formidable challenges can be overcome through unity and resilience. The Seraphim have learned much from this experience, and we are committed to continuing our collaboration." Carter smiled. "Thank you, Archon Seraphiel. Together, we've shown that peace is possible, even in the face of uncertainty." The journey had been long and fraught with peril, but the galaxy had emerged stronger and more united than ever. The lessons learned and the bonds forged during this time would guide future generations, ensuring that the spirit of cooperation and resilience remained at the heart of the Galactic Council. Humanity, once banned from war and viewed with suspicion, had become a beacon of hope and a catalyst for positive change. Their legacy was not one of chaos, but of unwavering determination and the belief that a better future was possible for all. And so, as the stars shone brightly over the Council's homeworld, the galaxy looked forward to a new era of peace, prosperity, and shared destiny.